Yes. Hey guys, Joel Sangerman here. I'm here with Jim Irwin, and we want to talk to you about a couple deals. One that we're buying, and one that we may be selling. So why don't I start by asking Jim? Jim, how did we even meet?
Well, actually, you had a house advertised out in Lake St. Louis, which was very desirable, which I had a strong interest
He likes that house.
in leasing or lease purchasing. And in the midst of the conversation, I learned that you buy real estate and that you had some options that could benefit me in a big way. So that's why we're here.
That's right. And what was going on with Jim is that he has a house, and we're out here now. It's a beautiful house actually in the woods. It needs a little bit of work, and he's been taking phone calls all day. But no, he's actually been making payments on this house for quite a while. This house is the product of a marriage gone bad. That rarely happens, but it's a product of a divorce, and he actually has the deed to the house. There were some other situations that occurred.
In my name.
Loan's in his name. Loan's going to stay in his name because we're going to buy this property subject to. Explain to Jim about the due on sale clause, how the bank would have the option to call the loan due when the deed transfers, but that it's unlikely that that'll occur. So the loan stays in his name until it gets cashed out at some point in the future. And what's your feeling about that conversation that we had?
I'm okay with that. I mean, that's really it's a blessing to me.
Because he's been making payments on this house, guys, for 3 years. So what I said is this, and you'd have to see the house, but it's got a beautiful view out here. It's in a beautiful area, and I'm quite confident that we'll be able to find a buyer for this within 3 months. So Jim's agreed to make the next 3 payments after we close so that my back's not up against the wall, so that I can find a buyer prior to having to come out of pocket with those payments. And that's fully what I expect to do. Interestingly, this house is actually going to be a work for equity house because it does need a little bit of work. Not much, really. I mean, what's the extent of the work in your view?
Carpet, paint, maybe replace some of the appliances, update some kitchen cabinets.
All the kinds of things that a lot of new homeowners really like to do because they can make the house their own and customize its appearance. But the main thing is this house is underwater by maybe, 25, 30, 35 grand or so.
Right.
So at some point this house, but the payments aren't that bad. What were the payments, like $1,100 on the first and
a couple
hundred on the second? But you'd have to see this beautiful house. It's I don't think we'll have any problem being able to find a buyer who can cover those payments and probably a little bit more, so that we'll make a little bit of monthly spread on it in the interim while the equity catches back up, either through appreciation or through debt pay down, or if we get to a point where this person wants to go in and actually qualify for the loan, or they want to sell it and it hasn't caught up, then Jim's actually agreed that we could short sale it as well.
Right.
And what's your view on that situation if that happens?
As long as I'm settled somewhere else, I'm really not really opposed to it. I'm not really opposed to it. I mean, if anything, it's better than having to continue to make payments, because right now it's costing me close to $20,000 a year for nothing. I don't even live here.
And you've done that for 3 years.
Right. So.
Now, see, had you not been doing that, you could have saved up enough to buy that lake house that you like so much that we're selling.
Exactly. So I wish I met you earlier.
Yeah, and let's segue into that because I want to talk to you a little bit about what you can do when you have somebody. He's got about $30,000 that he wants to put down on a new house, and the one that we're selling is probably about a $700,000 house. So we're looking to get minimum 70 grand. So the 30 probably won't cut it, but he's walking around with our money. He's walking around with 30,000 that we should have. All we got to do is find him a house, about $500,000 house that him and his daughters can move into, and we'll collect that 30 grand less whatever we put out for our seller. So that's something that we're gonna work on.
Absolutely.
So anyway, that's the kind of thing that happens when you get out there. We bought this house, so I've got the paperwork on it. Had him sign an authorization to release information. We gave him a small deposit.
Check.
You did. How much was that check? $10? Oh, he got me for $90 than I should have had to do. Gave him a check for $100. we've got an agreement to take this house subject to the existing financing. He understands that the loan's going to stay in his name until we cash it out at some point in the future. Fully understands that there's a due on sale clause on this. Has the same view that I have, which is that the bank's not going to want another house. They're unlikely to call the loan due as long as the payments are going to be made. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to make 3, and then we're going to make the rest of them. Either us or our buyer will make them directly to the bank. So good situation for all involved. And as a result of this, we actually have a possibility of doing another deal here.
Yeah.
He wants a house with a swimming pool, so that's the one objective. The reason he liked the house out at the lake is because he's actually a captain and sails, and then his daughters are big swimmers and water skiers. Right. So if we can't get one that's out at the lake, we're just going to get him a house with a swimming pool in a great area, and it should be pretty easy to do. We're going to run our yellow letter campaign targeted at his specific desired area. We're going to do the FSBO field agent program, which you're familiar with. And we will also have our virtual assistants calling for sale by owner ads in those areas. We'll target absentee owners and try and find him a nice house. And if he likes it, then he'll go in and transfer the $30,000 to us and take over whatever payments we arrange. And if he doesn't like it, there's a million other people like Jim out there. I mean, not as handsome, not as great of a musician. Jim's actually a musician as well. What do you play, by the way?
Guitar.
He's a guitarist. He looks a little bit like a guitarist, kind of like a rock star. I'm going to get his autograph. I already got his autograph on the deal that we're buying. So, anyway, great guy. And this is what happens when you get out there. When you get out there and begin doing deals, you meet people that can operate as both buyers and sellers. And he's actually got people. We actually had a conversation about private lenders. What's your business again? It's insurance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And there's a lot of people that are looking to get a better interest rate that's being currently offered in the marketplace now. Even on annuities and things like that, they're lucky if they can make 1 or 2%.
And we pay a lot more than 1 or 2%. So I talked to him about connecting with some of his clients at some point who might want a better yielding investment. And we can put their money into a house that we're rehabbing at a relatively low loan to value, so it's very secure, and they can make more. Some of my partners pay 4%, but they're kind of stingy. So we usually pay a little bit more than that. We'll go, 5, 6, 7, 8%, depending on what the
people will jump on that.
They'll jump all over that. So, so here, what we've really discussed today is how you can buy a house subject to the existing financing, and that can be profitable for you. We also have somebody who has cash and can make monthly payments, so we could actually sell a house to somebody like Jim. And then in his business, he's got a whole cadre of people who have money sitting in banks and CDs earning less interest than what the inflation rate is. And we can potentially take some of those people and put them in an investment vehicle that allows them to make a better yield and allows us to go out and make offers on bank-owned properties, knowing that we have the money to buy it because we have a ready array of investors who are willing to invest in our company with the security of a mortgage on a house. So really it's a win-win-win and a couple more wins by going out there and making deals and making things happen. And everybody wins in that situation. So. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Jim?
No, just glad I met you.
The feeling is mutual. Well, very good, man. Very good. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll catch up with you on the next tape.